What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is a Milestone review, and that Milestone is the 200th beer that I'm reviewing on my channel. And to celebrate such a momentous milestone review, I thought I would dive headfirst into my cellar and grab a beer that hopefully fits the occasion. And that beer comes from the Hoppin Frog Brewery out of Akron, Ohio, and this is their B.O.R.I.S number 200. You see what I did there? This guy's super clever. Not really. So this is an Imperial Oatmeal Stout that is aged in whiskey barrels, comes in at 9.4% alcohol by volume, 60 IBUs, and at the time of review, this beer is just over 4 years old. So I want to give a huge shout out and thanks to a good friend of mine and former beer tuber, Jonathan McBride, aka the Johnny G, over at the now defunct Crafty Beer Reviews. Him and I met up numerous occasions, and we exchanged beers, and this is one of the beers he gave me back in 2015. It's been in my cellar ever since, and I thought this was a perfect occasion to bust it out, give it hopefully a proper review. And even though Johnny probably won't watch this review, I do appreciate him giving me this beer and all the quality content he has posted over the years. So if you do watch this, Johnny, thank you very much. So B.O.R.I.S is Hoppin Frog's just regular old Imperial Oatmeal Stout. I've had it plenty of times. It's a great beer. Now, B.O.R.I.S 200 is a variant on their barrel-aged B.O.R.I.S. So on the, I don't know how this is going to come off on camera, but they do have, a little bit of a spiel here on this tag. It says, extended barrel aging 5 times longer to celebrate brewing B.O.R.I.S Stout Batch number 200, a truly intense flavor and aroma for a truly magnificent Imperial Stout. Orange cap means B.O.R.I.S number 200. We obviously have the orange cap. So a couple things. Number one, this beer says stout aged in whiskey barrels. Now, the thing about B.O.R.I.S number 200 was this was the first extended barrel aging release that I believe Hoppin Frog did. They actually, I don't want to say they changed the name, but they came out with a similar version just called Extended Barrel Aging B.O.R.I.S, and they are using Woodford Reserve bourbon barrels for the Extended Barrel Aging B.O.R.I.S. Now, I don't know if they're using that in this. I know all bourbon is whiskey, so when it says stout aged in whiskey barrels, they obviously could be using any kind of bourbon barrels. So I don't know if Woodford Reserve was used here in the original B.O.R.I.S number 200, but they certainly use it in the Extended Barrel Aging. Now, most of you can probably not get your hands on this beer any longer unless you have one aging like I do, but the Extended Barrel Aging version that I think they release on a yearly basis now, ever since 2017, I do think it's very similar to this one, if not the exact same. So just keep that in mind going forward. Anyway, I got the Willoughby Brewing Company Nut Smasher Imperial Stout, a little snifter here because I just thought it'd be appropriate. So let's crack this open. Hopefully we still have a decent hiss and everything. Ooh, wasn't a huge hiss. Was not a huge hiss. That is a little bit worrisome. That's what happens when you age beers, 4 or 5 years. Hopefully it still has a decent amount of carbonation. Let's give it a proper pour here. Try to give it a hard, aggressive pour here and see what we get. And I'm going to literally spill it everywhere. You guys just saw that, right? Great. You know what? We're going to go on with the review because, you know what? You could sit here, I could edit it and whatever, but you just saw me pour it aggressively, spill it everywhere. You know what I'm going to do? Let me get a little bit of a, you know what? Hang on. I have paper towels over here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and yeah, party foul. I spilled the beer everywhere like an idiot. Good thing this is a huge bomber, and I didn't waste that much of it, but that's on me. This is what you get with the Beer Patrol, man. Yeah, I edited it real quick because I need to clean up my hand and everything, but whatever. We're gonna go on with the review because that's what you do as a beer reviewer. So anyway, that pours out this really just deep, dark black color. It really never had to begin with. It has a thin film of like a straight up mocha color. Lots of alcohol legs on this one. 9.4%, you expect that. Like I said, doesn't seem to be carbonated a lot, so we'll see, but let's get a nose. Oh my God, that fucking smells just beautiful. The remnants of the beer are just hanging out here, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, I wasted some beer, but then I'm like, I got so much of it, I don't know, we'll live, we'll survive. Yeah, just tons. The thing is the bourbon is present in the aroma, but there's so much like sweeter milk chocolate, vanilla, just a little bit of like an oak tannin hanging around, molasses. I just got like a huge whiff of like brown sugar. Oh, wow, this fucking smells awesome. Now, I've had regular barrel-aged B.O.R.I.S a couple times. I've had the base a couple times, and I really dig the beer, but this is on another level aroma-wise. it really doesn't have like any kind of like oxidized notes I'm picking out here, like sherry notes or any kind of like stale cardboard or anything that would indicate, aside from the actual carbonation being lower, I couldn't really tell you if this has been aged at all. It just smells really sweet, a big bourbon kick, but more to like the vanilla side of things, not straight on like just, you know, like fusel alcohol in your nose. It smells fucking so good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. If you have this in your cellar and you have, or the opportunity to grab this, do it. This is fucking great. There isn't a lot of carbonation here. It still has carbonation, but it's very, very low. It doesn't matter. This does not matter. Now I'm pissed I spilled probably like an ounce and a half on my table. Maybe not that much, maybe just like a straight ounce. I'm gonna drink all this. I'm gonna feel great. First off, 9.4%. Getting a little bit of alcohol, a little bit of booze on the palate, but not enough to make it noticeable. I'd guess around 8%. The body, it's a bit thin, Paul. It's a bit thin. Regular B.O.R.I.S is a bit thin. Regular barrel-aged B.O.R.I.S is a bit thin. This is a bit thin. Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't, Eric Gilbert, so settle down. But the mouthfeel, because of that lower carbonation, it has like a really nice softness to it. It's not, I mean, it does have a nice creamy texture to it because of the oats. This is an Imperial Oatmeal Stout after all. But the body and mouthfeel are secondary to the flavor of this beer, which is just divine. Right up front, tons of brown sugar, tons of vanilla, chocolate. As it passes through a palate, a little bit of like a malted, well, I was going to say like a roastiness or like a barrel char pops out, but it's more of like a coffee roast. And then it finishes with a ever so slight dryness to it and a touch of bitterness. But this one is a sweeter Imperial Stout. If you're not into sweeter beers, this probably isn't for you at this point. There's some like leather and tobacco notes as well in here, like a darker cherry character as well. This is very well rounded and very complex and extremely tasty. Yeah, I'm glad I aged this. I don't know what it tastes like fresh. More often than not, I like to drink a beer fresh than age it. With this one, I was looking for the perfect opportunity to drink this or share this, and this is the perfect opportunity, you know, aside from the fact that I spilled a bunch on the table. But yeah, this is going to be a great beer to just sip on. Got a Sabres game coming up very shortly, and probably drink this throughout the 2.5 hour hockey game and enjoy every second of this because this is a delicious beer. And I'm going to give this an appropriate rating. So a B.O.R.I.S number 200 from the Hoppin Frog Brewery. I'm going to give this a solid 4.75 out of 5. It doesn't get a 5 out of 5 because of the carbonation. The carbonation was a bit bigger. Like I said, I didn't really care, but I do care to an extent. This is not a 5 out of 5, but it's as close as you can get, regardless of ultimately, regardless of rating. It's a fucking enjoyable beer. It's a great beer, and it's one that I recommend to you guys. If you can get the extended barrel aging B.O.R.I.S, which is, like I said, the version that they sell now, I would say pick it up. Maybe grab one to drink fresh, one to age, because this one aged to almost perfection. And I'm kind of upset I didn't drink this fresh just to kind of have a basis of what, you know, what the difference is. But then again, if I drank this fresh, then I wouldn't have this to celebrate with you guys. So I appreciate everybody watching the content, commenting, just being great viewers in general. At the time of this review, I'm well over, I'm over 300 subs. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the content. I love just, you know, reviewing beer and just being a beer tuber, so you guys make it even that much better. So enough of the sappy shit. We'll end this review, and I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review. And until the next one, hopefully you're enjoying something as delicious as this. And if not, you know, there's always tomorrow. So cheers.